Good day, everyone. This is your corporate enter trainer, soft skills guru, and buddy to success mentor, Myron Santana. And welcome back to part 4 of our Filipinoism series, focusing on enriching our vocabulary. And I would like to apologize because it took me a while before I could record again and get back with part 4 of 4. Okay, but hopefully you guys were able to watch and appreciate and learn from the previous 3 sessions. All right, so we're coming back with this is the last, all right, of the 4-part series on Filipinoisms, and hopefully just like how you patronize or support the previous 3, you would support this as well. Okay, and of course I'm gonna leave it up to you if you want to download all 4 separate sessions or parts of the series, so that you could combine all of them and be able to review at your own pace at any time our discussions on Filipinoisms. Okay, so just to remind everyone, because there's a really very long gap in between part 3 and this one, part 4. Okay, so Filipinoisms, otherwise known as Filipinisms, are words, phrases, sentences, or expressions that may look or sound Filipino, or rather English, okay? But they are words, phrases, expressions, and sentences that are unique to us, or that only Filipinos can relate to, or only in the Philippines, as how we call it. But once again, just to clarify, they're not necessarily wrong, okay? It's just that if you use or say or write them to other English-speaking nationalities, especially the native speaker ones, that they may not be able to relate to that right away, or they may have to make an effort to figure out what it means and how it's related to their own usage of the English language, or what words, phrases, expressions, sentences are very close to them. Okay. So this is part of our Filipino English, Filipino dictionary, Filipino accent, and I need you guys to take note of them, because if you want to neutralize your accent, your word choice, all right, it's really very important to know about these Filipinoisms or Filipinisms that I'm sharing with you guys. Okay. So once again, this is part of our hashtag Myron advice, our habit, our mission, our passion of giving you pieces or bits of advice that would help you become successful in whatever your chosen field is, be it employment or business. So let's go for it. Let me go ahead and share with you the last 2 lists of part 4 of 4 of our Filipinoism web series. Okay, so let me pull it up for you here. There. All right, I can see it now. Okay, so here it is. So these are the last 2 lists of our several lists of Filipinoism. Of course, there are more Filipinoisms out there. And if you guys know of any word, phrase, sentence, or expression that you want to check with me if they're a Filipinoism or not, or only in the Philippines or not, then just go ahead and comment down below in the comment section of this video. And once I come across them, I find the time to reply to them. Okay, so here we go. So Filipinoism, misused or only in the Philippines, English word, second to the last list. So we have here the Filipino English rubber shoes. Okay, and I believe it makes sense because the shoes are made of rubber. That's why we call it, or them, rubber shoes, right? But instead of rubber shoes, native speakers actually call them as you guys can see here, sneakers for American and Canadian, trainers for British and Australian, running shoes, and there you go. Okay, the misinterpretation there, as it says here, is literally means shoes made of rubber, but may not be immediately understood as referring to gym shoes. So, okay, and that's another way of calling it, gym shoes. Alrighty. Okay, here's another very Filipino way of saying things, and it's kind of funny, right? When we say next week, so we repeat the word next twice, and then when we're referring to the past, we say last week, so we repeat the word last twice, right? So The misinterpretation there is where it sounds absurd and meaningless and redundant as well, right? When we say next week, what we're actually referring to would be a week after next week, or 2 weeks from now, or a couple of weeks later, right? When we say last week, what we're actually referring to would be 2 weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, or a week before last week, or a week before the previous week. There you go. So only we Filipinos say next week to refer to future, and the last week to refer to the past. Okay, so there you go. All right, another Filipinoism, and this falls in the redundancy category, right? When we say not unless, it's like in Filipino or Tagalog, kung hindi lang, something like that or close to that, right? So remember this, that we do not say, if that is the context we want to put it in, we never say or put not and unless together, right? It's like my analogy for that is, in algebra, right? Negative plus negative, it becomes positive. So you mean negative, but when you say not and unless together, you actually mean positive. So I believe in the context you want to use it in, what you're referring to would be unless, right? It's like, I'm not gonna accompany you unless. We don't say I'm not gonna accompany you, not unless, right? Because you already said we're not gonna accompany you, not unless. So it's like redundant as well. And when you say not twice in the same sentence or not together, then it's actually not anymore. It's negative plus negative becomes positive. So it's on the affirmative side, not on the negative side. Okay? So once again, if the context you want to say in is kung hindi lang, it's not unless, it's redundant. It's unless. Or if you want to say it differently, it's another way of saying the same thing, not until. Alrighty? But there's no such word as not unless. All right. Next, this is another common habit among us Filipinos that we say up with the word cope with the words cope with, right? So we say cope up with to mean adjust or adapt to, right? So the misinterpretation there is it's up is needless in the phrase. This is another one of those phrasal verbs that strictly work with just a couple of words, right? So one is the verb or action word, the other one is the preposition, right? So this strictly works with just coping with, but never with up. So the right way of saying it is cope with. So to adjust to or adapt to, it means cope with, not cope up with. There's no such phrasal verb like that. Alrighty? Okay, next would be mauling. So we Filipinos, we say mauling when we are referring to like window shopping or strolling in or at the mall there. Okay, so the noun maul is a noun. Okay, actually, I would love to double check this, but I'm pretty sure about it that the word maul is or can only be used as a noun. All right, a common noun that is, and not as a verb or an action word. So the noun maul is never used as an action word. Okay, so once again, just like what I said just now, the right way of saying it when you're referring to that deed or action is window shopping or strolling in or at the mall. You say strolling in the mall if you physically are inside the mall or the establishment, and you say strolling at the mall if you're pointing to the direction because you're on the outside. Okay, or you're from afar and you are pointing to the mall. All right, so there you go. Okay, another Filipinoism is our use of tissue or tissue paper. Don't get me wrong, there's really a tissue. There's really a tissue paper, all right? But we don't say tissue or tissue paper when we're actually referring to is table napkin or napkin for short, because our idea of napkin is the sanitary napkin used by by girls or by female, right? So if you're referring to the table napkin, so instead of calling it tissue or tissue paper, call it napkin or table napkin to be particular. Okay? So because when we say tissue or tissue paper, what these native speakers would think of first or instead would be, the tissue roll that's used in bathrooms or restrooms. Alrighty? Okay, so it's not the toilet we're referring to, it's the table napkin. Okay? So this is the second to the last of our lists. Now, the last of our lists would be this. Okay, although there's one repetition here, which we're Gonna get rid of. Okay. So next would be this. So what's wrong with this? Can you go here? All right. So the misinterpretation is to mean approach me or come near. All right. Here's the thing. There's a difference between come and go. Remember that when we use the word go, the action is away from the speaker. All right. So it's from the speaker, out of the speaker towards another place or direction. So it's moving away. All right. That's go. So we say go there. We never say go here. All right. Not towards you as a speaker, but towards the outside or away from you. Okay. Now, when you are referring to towards the speaker, all right, from the outside to you in, okay, so it's not go anymore. It's already come. So if I may use my hands to elaborate on it, it's go, away, and then come, approaching or towards. So it's not grammatical to say, can you go here? Because it's like it opposes itself. It contradicts itself, right? It's like when you tell me, can you go here? I'm not exactly sure what movement you want from me. You want me to like approach you or move away from you? Approach you, move away from you, right? So it's can you go there? Or if you're asking for permission, could you go there? Okay, and then can you come here? Or could you come here if you're asking for permission? So go there, come here, but never say can you go here. It doesn't really make sense. Okay, so the misinterpretation once again is to mean approach me or come near. So the right way of saying it is can you come here or could you come here? All right, so let's just skip this line here because we're already done with that. But just to give you a review, Filipino English is cope up with. So misinterpretation, up is needless in the phrase. It's only cope and with. So we say cope with to mean adjust to or adapt to. All right. Okay, second to the last would be under to. You know, when somebody asks you, who was your teacher back in high school or elementary? And then we go, oh, I was under Mr. Santa Ana. Oh, I was under Mrs. Santa Ana. Okay? But what we actually mean would be to mean reporting to. So the misinterpretation there is might be taken literally like under, like, do you mean under? Below, underneath the person? Right? Although that would be very sarcastic, right? So when you, when what you mean to say is report to, all right, then say report to if you're referring to like a previous supervisor at work or in your business, right? But if you're referring to an elementary, high school, or college professor, then it's supervised by, all right, or taught by or advised by, but never under. Only we Filipinos say it that way. Okay, and the last but not least, guys, and once again, there are actually more to discuss, but these are the only lists that we're going to feature in these four-part series on Filipinoisms, okay? Now, the Filipino Englishes I'm looking for, hey, hold on one second, Mentor Myron. So if it makes sense when you say, I'm looking for. In Tagalog, that's naghahanap ako, right? But the thing is, this is what makes it wrong, okay? You are looking for over the phone. You cannot look for someone or anyone or anybody over the phone, right? Because you're not physically in there, okay? You're just using the phone to make contact with a person. So the right way of saying it is not I am looking for, because the misinterpretation there, as it says here, is cannot look for somebody you cannot or will not see, all right? You'd be surprised if you say I'm looking for, and then the head sticks out of one of the holes on the handle, all right? Or on the receiver, okay? However you want to call it, all right? So if you are looking for somebody, but it's over the phone, the right way of saying it is I'm asking for somebody. So it's not, I'm looking for Myron. No, okay? Because you're not going to physically see each other face to face. It's, I'm asking for Myron. See, that's how you say it. Or ask for somebody over the phone, all right? So may I ask for, or just put it simply, may I speak with, okay? So there you go, guys. We've just completed our different lists on our four-part series on Filipinoisms, which aims to help correct or enrich your vocabulary. Because if you have a very rich vocabulary, then you're going to be able to confidently, comfortably, and conveniently express yourself in English without so many fillers in between and without having to resort to saying, well, there are speech fillers as well, whatchamacallit, how do you say that? You know what I'm talking about there. All right. So because they become fillers that mar the quality of your delivery. Okay. So once again, I'm gonna keep on reminding you guys that most of these Filipinoisms are not really wrong. It's just that they're unique to us. All right. They're only relevant with us or in our culture or tradition or in our own word usage of the English language that other English speaking people or native speakers will not be able to relate to or with them right away. So might as well just neutralize our use of the English language and of course keep it in such a manner that we are able to express ourselves okay accurately and with confidence and clarity that other people who speak will be able to understand us, and of course vice versa, we're able to understand the people who speak with in the English language at the same time. Alrighty, so there you go. Okay. So that's how quick it is this time, and hopefully my aim or intention here is satisfied or granted, and I hope nothing else but to see you guys improve with your sway or use of the English language, because we cannot deny that the better we are in speaking the language, the more competent or capable we are in accomplishing what our heart desires, both in the business world and in the corporate or employment world. Once again, guys, this is Mentor Myron Santana. Thank you so much for listening. If you guys like this content and all the rest of the videos that we uploaded onto this YouTube channel, please go ahead and like it. What else? If you've just come across this and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, subscribe. And then additionally, if you want to get notified of when I would upload next or when there's already a new upload, then make sure that you, what's the right word of calling? Hit, activate, enable, all right, tap, click that bell for future notifications, okay? So once again, thank you so much. I just want to say that with our hashtag Myron Akong Advice, with yours truly, Mentor Myron Santana, you've been educated or entertained. Until the next video, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Goodbye.